Hi again, everyone. Gary Digital Williams here on Boxing Law on the Beltway. Our news and notes for this week, and this is a special edition because really we only have one bit of news, and it is breaking as we are continuing, and we'll get that to you in just a moment. Boxing Law on the Beltway news and notes brought to you by Real Time Pain Relief. Boxing Law on the Beltway supports Real Time Pain Relief, the fast, safe, plant-based ointment. And if you go to www.freepainoffer.com, get a free $10 tube of real-time pain relief by ordering $10 worth of real-time pain relief. Rub it on, the pain is gone in real time. And of course, the news right now that has been breaking over the last few hours is that the March 11th card, the Saturday, March 11th card at the National Harbor, MGM National Harbor Casino in Oxon Hill, Maryland, has been postponed. Of course, this was the card that Gary Russell Jr., WBC featherweight champion, was scheduled to defend his title on this card against Russell-Escandon in the main event. Of course, his two brothers, Antonio, was scheduled to be on the card, as well as Antoine making his pro debut. Jamel Charlo is defending his 154-pound championship against Charles Hatley. The card is off because Russell-Escandon suffered an injury to his back in training. So that's why the bout is off. The card is off. The entire card is off. And it's a tough break because of all the momentum we've had over the last few months, all the great momentum we've had. Been nice to continue that with March 11th. But such is the case, that will not happen. So that's tough break. And this is actually the second time that this bout between Gary Russell Jr. and Russell-Escandon out of Colombia, of course, and Russell out of Capitol Heights, Maryland. Second time this has been postponed. Earlier, late last year, the two were scheduled to meet each other. And actually early last year, in like January of last year. But Russell was hurt. Russell, I believe, hurt his hand or hurt his he had some sort of injury, either his leg or his hand, and the bout was postponed then, and that allowed Escandon to win the WBC interim featherweight championship, and he won it in Washington, D.C. at the D.C. Armory on the Luis Ortiz-Tony Thompson card on March 5th, and scored a 7th-round TKO over Robinson Castellanos. So it would have been nice for that bout to take place, but it will not take place. So our next card in the area now will be on Saturday, March 25th, and that'll be at the UDC Physical Activity Center campus of University District of Columbia. We will do a report on that card in our next podcast, the next Beltway Boxing News and Most podcast. We'll run down that card. Card looks very good. I mean, some really good people on the card. Dusty Harrison is still scheduled to be on that card. Let me just talk a little bit about that real quickly. As you may know by now, Dusty Hernandez Harrison was arrested last week in a for having possession of a gun. Unlicensed possession of a gun, and DC has some of the strictest gun laws in the nation. And right now, though, his bout on the card against Matthew Strode is on. It is still on that card. So we'll see. But that's just a tough break. You wonder why he was even in that situation. He was arrested overnight, not too far from his home in Southeast D.C. And you got to wonder why it happened in the first place. But that's for more qualified minds than I to speculate on that. But he's still scheduled on the card. Damon Nicholson's on this card. Franchon Cruz is scheduled to be on this card. Tierra Brown is scheduled to be on this card. Of course, the card is promoted by Jerome Quigley and his manager, Jeff Gatling. And, of course, Jerome Quigley will headline the card. He's scheduled to be in a regional title bout, but no word yet on his opponent. So hopefully we'll find out by the time we come back on the air next week and give you another podcast on that. So it should be a very good card. Saturday, March 25th at the Physical Activity Center on the campus of University District of Columbia. We do plan to do a broadcast live of that show, but we want y'all to come out and pack the place. It's the first time we've had boxing there since 2013 when Dusty Hernandez Harrison actually did headline a show there at UDC. And so this should be a lot of fun. Should be a good one. That's our next pro card now. Now, the March 11th postponement of the Russell-Escandon card does open things up for the Golden Gloves, which is going to be right up the road from the National Harbor Casino at Rosecroft Raceway in Fort Washington, Maryland. And I do definitely plan to be there this week. We continue March 4th. We start the semifinals this for the juniors, and I think the novices as well. Definitely the juniors. I'm sorry, not junior, the novices will be semifinals. But I looked at some of the open bouts. There's some great open bouts. We will post up the bout sheet. Excuse me. Post the bout sheet either late today or sometime tomorrow. There is one bout in particular I gotta highlight though. It's in 141-pound division, and it's Cipriano Zeldin out of the Headbangers Gym against Wilfredo Alvalar of Sugar Ray Leonard Gym. This is going to be a great bout, folks. I love both these guys. I saw them both in the novices for a number of years. Cipriano Zeldin was very impressive in the novice about 2 years ago, but this is going to be a fantastic bout coming up on March 4th at Rosecroft Raceway. And now March 11th, we'll be able to go see that. And then March 18th, and they'll have the finals on April 1st, which will lead the 25th Open. So you can go to the pro show at UDC. So schedule's working out. Not exactly what we wanted it in the way of not having Russell fight, but it does open things up for the amateurs, so come on out and support them. But once again, the big news is that the March 11th card, Saturday, March 11th card at the National Harbor Casino, MGM National Harbor Casino, Austin Hill, Maryland, has been postponed. Russell-Escandon suffered a back injury in training, and the fight is off for now. It's scheduled to be rescheduled. That's weird, but it is supposed to be rescheduled for a later date, still at the National Harbor. So we'll see what happens there. And of course, we do have April 8th at the National Harbor with Vasily Lomachenko taking on Jason Sosa in the headlining bout there with Mike Reed and Patrick Harris scheduled to be on that card as well. I believe there's scheduled to be possibly 2 world titles and probably a regional title that night as well. So that should be a big night on April the 8th. So we'll see what happens as we get closer to that date. So that will do it here for a very brief news and notes. Just want to get the information out about the postponement of the big card scheduled for March 11th. Boxing on the Beltway news and notes brought to you by Real Time Pain Relief. For boxers to ballerinas, from shoulder pain to muscle strain, everything between, Boxing on the Beltway recommends Real Time Pain Relief, the fast, safe, and plant-based ointment. And don't forget, you go to www.freepainoffer.com. You buy $10 worth of Real Time Pain Relief, you get a free $10 tube of Real Time Pain Relief. Rub it on, the pain is gone in real time. I'm Gary Digital Williams. Hope to see you at the Golden Gloves this week. And always remember to keep supporting the best boxing in the world, the boxing along the Beltway. Thanks for listening. Take care.